back in 1993, a long time ago, I had a really strange, the only word I can use, experience. I was driving on one of the busiest highways in the United States. It's the 95. I was in Connecticut, heading up north toward New Canaan. I was on the Darien area, and it was winter time. So a lot of times there's what they call black ice on the road, where you can't even see it, and you can slide. Anyway, that's exactly what happened to me. Coming around the bend, the car just kept going and sliding. I was on the slower lane, and the car just came across the 3 lanes, turned around, and slid to the center lane, and then back across. And in the meantime, as this was happening, these trucks and cars were just going through me. I can't explain it. All I know is that, and then the car turned around again. It just did donuts basically, and ended up in the center, within an inch of the center barrier, the concrete barrier. And I just sat, as I was going through this, it was like going through slow motion. I was watching all this happen and all these cars coming through me. And I had my baby in the car. He was 1 year old at the time. He was in, back then, the baby carriers were supposed to go turned around in the front seat. And so he was in the front seat of the car. And as I'm going through all this, as the car is just donutting and spinning out of control, back and forth basically through these lanes, these cars are just, and trucks and 18-wheelers going through me. All I know is that I ended up in the median, in the center, next to the barrier in the center lane there. And I'm just sitting there trying to explain what happened, trying to process what had just happened. And as I'm sitting there just totally frozen, paralyzed, this a guy from an 18-wheeler had just stopped. Basically all traffic stopped. The 18-wheeler driver comes out, runs out of the truck, and opens my car door and looks at me and my son and goes, he was sheet white, as I probably was, and he says to me, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I think so." He said, "I just witnessed the miracle." And that made 2 of us, because I just went through a miracle, because I cannot explain what happened. And the reason this memory came to mind this morning is because I hadn't been on that part of that highway in a long time. And I find myself now, my yoga teacher has moved the shala, the studio where we practice, to this town, and I have to go, every morning I have to go through the exact same spot where I spun out of control. And it's funny how, memories get etched in our minds, and the not so nice ones seem to kind of give us that feeling, that knot in our stomachs. And every morning I pass this, I get this knot in my stomach, and I'm trying to let it go. I'm trying to release it. But I guess I never figured out what happened. All I know is that recently I've been looking at YouTube videos of unexplained experiences. And there was one in particular that was identical to what I experienced. Basically, there are these street cameras, and it's, I guess it's almost dusk or early in the morning. And this cyclist basically just gets hit head on by a truck. And you see the whole thing, and next thing you know, he's walking away from it. Look it up on YouTube. It's very weird. Unexplained, Unexplained experiences or something to that effect. And that's exactly what happened to me. The end result of this is it gave me a lot of time to think about second chances. I don't know what happened. I don't pretend to know what happened. All I know is that I had a second chance. And I've always tried to live my life as best as I can, and to be the best that I can be under all circumstances. I'm human, but I really work at it. And a situation like that really pushed me certainly to reevaluate what's important. The idea of not fighting the battles, just ignoring the battles, fighting the wars. If, I mean, there are things that are important to us and we have to stick to our, we have to be true to ourselves. But like with family things, when things come up, issues come up, it's so for me now not worth discussing little things that are just so unimportant. Just ignore the, don't fight, concentrate on the wars. But not that I'm a fighting spirit, but I definitely believe in sticking up for myself and for what is right and what is good and best and everything. So I just feel so grateful that I had that second opportunity. Don't ask me to explain what happened. If any of you out there, have more insight on that very unexplainable experience that I went through, I'm open-minded. I certainly I'm happy to listen to thoughts and ideas that you may have. But anyway, so I try to live each day as though it's the last day, because we never know, and just really grateful for second chances.